Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Dune and Friends. And today we have three special friends joining us. Our guests today are from the members of Generously Giving Back organization. So Generously Giving Back Organization, or GGB for short, is a Canadian charitable organization that helps people in Canada and all over the world. And we're delighted today to have their three members joining us for conversations about the importance of charitable work and the importance of giving back to community and all those wonderful things. So without any further delays, I will invite our guests to join us on stage here. And I'll give an introduction of the organization as well as each one of them as well before we get into a conversation for the hour here. And so I guess that if you're watching and able to hear us, if you can give me a confirmation that you can hear our voices, that would be great. So let me just confirm that there. All right. We're going to bring everybody on screen here. So let me go ahead and do that. Hello. Can you hear? Hold on. Let me. I got that wrong. I got to make sure that I bring actual you on stage and not your photo on stage. So give me a second here. There is Charla coming on stage, and there's Susan coming on stage, and I got to make sure that I do that and that, and we have. There we go. And everybody, and we go like that. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Everybody can hear me, I presume?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. We'll hear you.
Susan, your video might be frozen for some reason.
Not sure why.
I will see if I can rectify that. Does that help, what I just did there? Susan? No?
No.
Okay. Your video is frozen. I'll leave you to kind of try something there, Susan. Can we at least hear Susan, though? It looks like we can hear Susan. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. And while we're figuring out Susan's video here, let me just do an introduction of the organization. Oh, we can see your video now. Now, it's a little bit laggy, so it might be your internet is a little bit low right now, Susan. I'll tell you what, Susan, go ahead and select 480, because if it's having trouble doing the 720, we'll step it down to 480. That might help, Susan. All right, so that goes for all of you if you have camera issues there. So again, welcome. And so an introduction of the organization. So Generously Giving Back, again, is a Canadian registered charity founded by everyday folks that really with big hearts who come together in a common purpose and to make a difference in the world. And as there are no boundaries to kindness, so their mission is worldwide, and they work with Goodwill Ambassadors and who travel to destinations and able to personally distribute the funds and to the beneficiaries, for food and clothing and other necessities. So with that, I'll just say a brief introduction about each of you, and then I know later on as we go through the conversation, we can add more to it. So Susan Cal is the CEO and marketing director, and she's a project manager at a metal building manufacturing company. Now you are driven to help and to provide charitable work, Susan, really through your life experience early on with being an immigrant to Canada and having very little, and how your mom really kind of demonstrated the value of giving even when you have very little. So it's through that background that you kind of came to your desire to help others. And so the next member I wanted to say briefly a few things about is Rebecca. Rebecca Marcel is President and Communications Director, and she's currently a business analyst and project manager with the government of Alberta with 15 years of experience in IT in various fields there. But really, again, family struggle have really resonated with her, and that's why she's doing all she can to help others who are less fortunate. Our other guest, Charla Lupol, is the treasurer, and so Charla brings a solid set of financial backgrounds in her role as treasurer with her CPA credentials, and really just want to make sure that the funds and the money is well taken care of and properly handled and accountable to the members and the many donors. So with that brief introduction, let's get into it, folks. Now, Susan, your lighting is really low. I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that, but we'll keep going here. So maybe give us anybody have a story to share about the how it got started? Susan, maybe you can help with a background or story. How did we get started? How did you guys started with this?
Prior to all this, we've always gotten together, with among friends and business coworkers and stuff. Just put money together. Every time my mom goes back to Vietnam, right? And Becky, Charlotte, and I, we, joined. It was another organization that we helped found, and we grew from it, and then we grew out of it. And I think it was. I give all the credit to Becky. She's amazing. She's like a firecracker. She's like, hey, this, and I'm like, no, I don't know if I can do this. And she goes, you can. And I remember this. She stayed up all night the day before she went for her vacation. And she's like, I'll do the website and stuff. And we're talking. And really, the word generously giving back was Becky lighting up the fire. Because she's like, what do you want to do? What's your purpose? What do you do? So generously giving back. Generosity is to give without expectations. And giving back, we are so blessed. So this is us enabled to give back. So she stayed up all night to do that, the website, and get it launched. And when I asked Charla, she's like, I was waiting when you're going to ask me. She's just ready to go. And I'm so blessed. And with this, we have two other co-founders, right? And one is Liam, and one is Jason Reber and Liam Ben. They're great men, great heart. And that's the five of us, that's what we have, is great heart. So we started, and with finances and stuff, it's just our local supporters and how it starts. And it's to giving anything. And people, when you ask for charity, they're like, oh, I don't have any money. It's not money. We teach our kids, who most of them are teens, is to give services. At first, we make them. I have to use the word make, because we're like, oh, come on, get up really early in the morning, let's go for a walk and such like that. It's to give services, kindness. Kindness is from the heart. It doesn't have to be money. And if you give without expecting anything, it will come. It will come naturally. You're sincere. It's from the heart, and people who receive it will feel how you feel. And that's how we started. It's not just three of us girls. There's the two men, and everybody, volunteers. We have great volunteers. And that's how we started.
You bet. We certainly will look at some of the website pages that you have featuring the volunteers, featuring the partners, featuring the sponsors and the ambassadors and so on. So Rebecca, anything to add to how you guys started with this? How many years ago was that, folks? Rebecca?
Oh my gosh. It's been about 7 years as an organization, and I mean,
your camera has moved.
For the first few months, we were a nonprofit organization, and so I think we became a charity in less than a year after that, because we said to ourselves, you know what, there are so many people who are donating to us on a regular basis, and they're giving large sums of money, and we just feel like we need to give something back to them. We said that we need to become a charity, so that we can provide them with a charitable tax receipt, so they can get something in return for their loyalty throughout all the years. And so Charla made it happen for us. She's our superstar in that regard. She made it happen to us in less than a year. We had, I remember the lovely, weekend getaway that we took, just so we can really focus, all of us focus on our our core rules, bylaws that we were going to go by for the charity, and that was very critical for us. That's the thing that I love about my two girls here is that we are so in sync with what we feel needs to happen, not just with the helping others in different countries, but also with the running of the charity itself.
Yeah.
So we're very in sync with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Charlotte, Susan, overplays the website stuff, but really, it's like she's my inspiration. She's my inspiration for how I am involved right now in generously giving back.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. So, Charlotte, your thoughts on how you all started?
Yeah, like I said, Susan and I have been friends for many years, and I always was very inspired by her generosity, and so that's how I got involved. And then we just kind of decided that it was time that Susan take the lead, and we develop some sort of giving back on our own. We had kind of partnered with other people in the past, and we decided we wanted to take things in a certain direction, I guess. And so with Susan's leadership and Rebecca and I fully on board, we jumped in with both feet. And like Rebecca said, we obtained charity status very quickly within about 8 months, which I worked for CRA, so it does take a while to get charity status, but with the focus and hard work of this group, we were able to attain that goal, and it's just been full steam ahead ever since. So
You bet. And again, how many years ago did you guys start this?
7.
it was about 7 years ago. Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
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 Well, great. So 7 years
Oh,
ago.
I have a story to tell you about the logo before we move on. It's really
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah, so the logo, if you look at the logo itself, it has a whole bunch of hands kind of just overlapping each other. And that actually took a long time to develop, and we wanted something really meaningful to us, right? So I started something with my own little vision about what I thought Susan wanted, like the world and something other things on it. And then Susan, I'm like, give me your honest feedback, Susan. Does this resonate with you? Does it mean anything to you? And then she's like, it's not quite, fitting her ideal of what the charity should be. And so, after a lot of talking with her, we said, this is what the charity is about. It's about all of us, various people, just coming together, wanting to help people. And so that's where the hands are come in. They just represent all the different peoples that make up this charity and all the different people that we help. And it's not just, one group, one country. That's why we help so many different countries.
Right.
We don't have any boundaries.
Hopefully you can see the website that I'm
Add to that,
showing.
Susan?
Yeah. So the website shows that logo up there. I don't know if you have a larger version of that on your site, but that's the logo there with the hand and many different colors, right? Is what we're seeing. And yeah, a mosaic of sort. So thank you for sharing that, Rebecca. Now, hopefully you can hear me, even though my video is off stage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some sort of questions. In fact, there's a site here. There's 3 members. Tell us about the structure of the organization. How members and ambassadors and so on. Susan, did you want to take that?
Can I talk about the members?
You bet.
Then I'll let Charlotte speak about, if it's okay with you, Char, about
Sure.
the supporters, right? And then Becky, she's great PR, so she can talk about the volunteers and such. And then I'll end it up with the ambassadors, because we're all important. Like the 3 of us, it started with 5, right? And then the 2 fellows, they're great. They help behind the scenes. One is still very active as a volunteer. And it's just the 3 of us. Why we're on there is because we are legally responsible for the charity. There's a lot of behind the scenes work we do, and life sometimes it's hard. Becky puts in a lot of
Your,
Dave
vo-
on a Sunday afternoon. She'll message
your
me.
voice is fading. Could you speak a little louder or move a
Three
little
of us, when
closer?
we went to the lawyer, of course, you know how the business is. You need somebody as a CEO, president, vice president. Charlotte, me as my voice is not.
It's cutting in and out and it's a little low, so I don't know if the internet or what. Go ahead and continue. Okay, Charla, why don't you
I
start?
can jump in here.
Yeah, I will.
So
Sorry.
okay.
Having anybody in that role besides Charla. I with
Susan,
girls.
we're missing a lot of what you're saying, so you might have to, I don't know, exit and look at the internet and come back in because a lot of what you're saying is not audible right now.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll exit, and then maybe while that's okay, Charlotte and Becky, Charlotte, you go
You
ahead.
know, it seems to stabilize, so why don't we continue?
Okay.
Whatever, yeah.
Okay. I'll just make it short. The three of us, you know, those titles and stuff, it's just titles. All three of us, we work very well together. And to collaborate, that hand logo, if you know some of our pictures, I'm always touching the girls or the girls are hugging me. We do group hugs. We're like three of us. I'm serious. Like there's so much love, respect, support. The three of us, we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. And I'm speaking on me. Every time I am weak, they're there to help me out. Many times they're like, Sue, take a chill pill, relax, we'll handle it. Or, you know what, we'll take care of it. Like even today, right before this, you know, Becky was having some technical difficulties. What did we say? We'll wait. So three of us, we're members, we're just legally responsible, but the charity is made up of everybody. So I'm going to pass it over to Charlotte so she can talk about our sponsors.
Our sponsors, yes. I contribute the amount of sponsors we have to Susan's network. She is the network guru extraordinaire. And I mean, we have a lot of corporate sponsors, but just individuals as well. People just want to give back, and sometimes they don't have an avenue to do that. And so through networking and through conversation and through our website and other social media, we reach out. And I think the website speaks for itself with the work we do, and people just want to give back, and this is just one of the ways that they can do that. And our sponsors, most of them are repeat. They're always there for us. We have a couple different fundraising events during the year, and they're always very willing to support in different ways, financially, with goods, different types of donations. A lot of our volunteers and their networks will donate items to us, let's say for a silent auction. So there's never an end to people's generosity, and we really do appreciate anybody that we do come into contact with, and that can help support our goals.
That's awesome. It's a very diverse set of sponsors I'm seeing there. So Charlotte, if I can put you on the spot and say, is there a particular unique story that about one of the sponsors' sort of engagement or situation that stands out in your mind as you think about sponsors in general that you think might be you might like to share with our viewers? How interaction with sponsors, anything at all, any story, interesting story?
Well, like I said, there's some that there are a select few on that list there, and that support us time and time again, and we try to expand our network, and we do, but there's like those ones at the top right there. They're there for us, whatever we're doing, even if it's as small as compiling backpacks. So we get all the everybody to donate items to go to into backpacks to go into Boyle Street. And so Padmanati, they have a back room in their restaurant, so they offered that to us, and we had everything all laid out, and we just did an assembly line with the backpacks, and we got them all filled, and we were able to deliver them to Boyle Street. So it's not just monetary, it's time and space and just support. Even we'll do things as a group, like a cancer walk or something, and everybody in our network, they'll just come out and have a good time. And it's like I said, it's not just money, it's just
So
the love. It's love and
yeah, encouragement, and
yeah,
the spirit.
exactly, and support, always got our backs. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Charla. Now, Rebecca, now which area were you going to speak on, Rebecca, again? Is it the
Volunteers.
volunteers? Let me go there. So I will pull up volunteers. Tell us about the important volunteers that are involved. Any stories would be appreciated as well, if you happen to have some stories. Rebecca?
It's definitely not a complete list of all of our volunteers. We do have a few more who either haven't provided me with information or decide that they're so humble they don't want to be listed.
So tell us any stories to share about volunteers, and any comments about what we're seeing here.
right, Susan mentioned earlier, the three of us, we each have our own unique strengths, and we really build off of those. Our volunteers are the same. They have their strengths, and they really bring it to the table when they volunteer for us. And there's just a lot of generosity, giving without any expectation, and that's kind of the whole theme behind our charity. I would like to point out Moon. She is absolutely extraordinary at soliciting and promoting our charity when it comes to collecting goods for a silent auction or finding donors. So she deserves a special mention. Liam is our working horse. He doesn't say much, but he is always there, and he will do anything from carrying a table to setting up something to do with sound or IT. And he's just this strong silent one, I would like to say. So
Absolutely.
Sue, do you want to add to that?
Oh yeah,
If you can.
with Moon, how we met Moon with Sir Jack. It's a dynamic duo. It's a brother and sister, and Jack has a great heart. Jack and Liam I've known Jack and Liam with some other mutual friends, and they're wonderful. In our group of volunteers, there's the age group, right? The two older ones, right? Like Charlotte's mom volunteers. There's Z, and the youngest ones are like Mustafa, um, Izzy, Isabel, and then our kids as well, and then as well as Christina. She's also an ambassador. From MJ to Kim to Sherry, who's a mom with two kids, like everybody, very positive. Diane, awesome. And of course, Talisha, she's our sweet friend. When we first started GGB, she's always been there for us from day one. She's just so busy, but she blowing up balloons for the gala. And then Dave Carvello, right? It's just all of these people have one thing in common: big heart. They give.
Yeah.
It can be Friday night before the gala, and they work. And then it's just giving. And the fun thing about it is we always involve food, and we always joke, and we laugh, and it's just positivity. And that's one thing the three of us will always remind ourselves, is that this is a volunteer work. This is from the heart. If you don't want to be here, tell us, be honest with us. But when you're here, there's respect, there's love, there's a lot of laugh. And a lot of us go through a lot of life changes, ups and downs, but we're here for each other. It's great. And we're blessed to bring in new volunteers as well too, like Craig, who's our MC for the last gala, and there's other people like, and then we have ambassadors. I'm taking over the ambassadors if it's okay with you. We have Kasim, who travels with me. I travel with him. He took me to Indonesia. He took me to Nepal. There's also our local ambassadors like DG Lam in Vietnam. There's Charlie, Carlos in El Salvador, and yeah, and there's Christina who's gone to the Philippines, and she is a soon-to-be mother. Congratulations to her. And the wonderful Sandra, Sandra Butters. She's not only our ambassador, she's a big sister to me. She's a great role model, and she completely devote herself to another charity. It's called Mercy Touch, and Liam and I were able to travel with her to Zambia. And Z, one of our volunteers, has also been to Zambia. So I feel that connection through the ambassadors, volunteers, to us, to our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you ask what the charity is and who's the charity, it's not the three of us. The three of us are just workhorses, we're just a bridge. And another make mention as well is Uncle Coy, Ju Coy. He would be the senior of the group. He is very sweet. He started with us to support from day one to end, and we go to him if we need anything in the community, Vietnamese community. He is the one who helped us with the Goodwill sponsorship for scholarship. He's the bridge, and he gives us a lot of advice and a lot of tips. And there's a lot of respect towards him because he's just plugging along. He's a retired engineer, doesn't give up. He just helps with the community. So
Mm-hmm.
GGB, just to summarize, is made out of all of us, not
Mm-hmm.
just us three.
Right. Now, so if I can summarize what I've been hearing, in working to help less fortunate people in Canada and globally, you actually are able to connect with a community that support one another, that actually contribute to the richness of each other's lives. In fact, is what I'm hearing. You make it fun. You make it meaningful, and you build relationships with the people that you work with in a positive way. So in a sense, you're building local community while you're helping the global community. Does that sound about right?
Yes. I do want to mention, so I just want to go back on some of the volunteers. Like I said, there's a lot of volunteers that dedicate themselves to. Another new recruit that we have is Zhao. She's a bubbly, sweet young lady, and she involves her husband as well too. And she helps by her time. And as you go through the volunteers, like Charla and Becky says, not a lot of people want to be on the website, and they just want to remain on that. But we're recruiting to that. But back to your question, dude. Yes, our charity is focused on a lot of around the world, third world countries. We want to give back to the community. So the Edmonton Food Bank, Run for the Cure, Cancer, Boyle Street, in different areas of Boyle Street, we help what we can. And even if it's for a walk, for donations, if it's our time, or packaging backpacks or packaging purses, yes, that's who we are. And it's all from the heart.
I'd like to show some photos, two sets of photos. I'm going to bring the photos up, and you three go ahead and comment on anything at all. We want to hear some kind of just ad hoc conversation about it. Maybe, take us down a trip down memory lane. In fact, what I'm going to do to give the photos priority, I'll take video, the visual completely out here, but we can hear all three of you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So speak about these photos that I'm featuring here, if you could.
This is from our 2018 gala. Rebecca and Charla. Rebecca, suggested a theme every year, and in 2018 was the blue. The red, and then last year, 2019, was the blue, which is the next photo on Dune.
Mm-hmm.
So these are our volunteers.
That's a lot of people there.
These are the five.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the five that started GGB. So there's Jason Reber. He is a huge teddy bear, wonderful man. And then Charla, myself, Becky, and then Liam, fun. And he, like Charla says, he is our workhorse. He just plugs away and he just does from the big task to the little task. This one was last year. Our theme was blue. And you see, there's also Janan is one of our volunteers too. She went away and studied for a couple of years, and she's back. But when she's able to, she's helped. Rebecca's two beautiful daughters are there as well too. So um, those are our ladies volunteer.
Mm-hmm. And here's the
And these
guys.
are the men. Yeah, the men and the boys, actually. All the guys on the left are teenagers, believe it or not, and the men on the right. But they plug away. Those teens, they come, they do all the carrying, and they sit and take the tickets, and they're happy to help.
There's a question from the audience that you might want to ponder, and we'll get to that after the photos here. It says, can you explain a little bit about the work that ambassadors do? So we'll continue with the photos, but that question is where we're going to next.
Yes, for sure. I'll give you an example of an ambassador right now. There's two in this photo. One is on the far left, which is Liam Bunn, and one is on the far right, which is Stu Coy. The ambassadors travel to destinations where we help out of their own will. They
Susan,
pay
do you
for
want to
their.
take that question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So that question to be answered, ambassadors are travelers who direct our charity money towards charity projects to the beneficiaries only. They pay for their own airfare, they pay for their own accommodations, they don't get paid, they volunteer. They actually not time out, they also pay for their trip, their food, their accommodations, and their time. Our money, GGD money, only goes towards the beneficiaries, and that's all it goes to.
In other
This
words,
photo
they
here
are
is
your.
actually, mhm. Sorry,
I
what
would
was
say,
that,
in
Andy?
other words, they are your no-cost delivery mechanism to all the places all over the world. And not
Yes,
only do they deliver the goods that are intended to help, they also deliver the hugs and the spirit and the companionship and all that stuff too. That they're not just delivering of stuff; they actually also create an experience as well, all on their own money, is what I'm hearing.
That's correct. This is Charla. I
yes,
can
yes.
add to that. There is a very rigorous process involved in screening ambassadors. It's just not just anybody can be an ambassador on behalf of GGB. So it, like I said, it's a rigorous screening process, and it's usually word of mouth. Um, Typically, if we're not very familiar with an individual who would act as an ambassador, then we would probably shy away from that, just to keep the book straight and to keep the level of transparency very open. So, like I said, very rigorous process, and they pay all their own expenses, and all of the money that is meant to go to a project, it's 100% of that money goes to that project. And something important to mention is that we don't just hand cash to an ambassador. We have to. We're mandated by the charities directorate of CRA to ensure that the money is going for the purpose that it is intended. So we have to collect receipts from our ambassadors, and so we train them on how to fill out reports and ensure that they're handing in their receipts. In case we get audited, we need to be transparent as well. So they can't just go, let's say in Vietnam, they just can't go and to an orphanage and give them cash. They would have to buy the goods that have been approved by us and transport those goods on our behalf to that beneficiary. So just to clarify.
Yeah, great. So anything else on the ambassador before we continue? We're good? All right. Well, thank
We're
you for
good.
that. Thank you for that. We're going to continue with the next photo here. Tell us. There you are with the GGB logo.
This is
This is
our
one
golf
of our
tournament.
golf tournaments.
Yeah, one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
How many? So you have it once every year, and of course, it's probably canceled this year, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Due to COVID, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're having fun there, lighting up the room, I'm sure, and out in the golf course.
No, actually, that is Run for the
That's
Cure.
Run for the
That
Cure.
is our
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
second
Run
year
for
of
the
Run for
Cure.
the Cure.
Tell us about that.
The I think it's in September or October. I think it's end of September, and it started out with just a few of us, and then every year we just add to it, and we bring our children, we bring our friends, like we bring like there's Kan and Tao and Tay and like all of our friends and Moon and her boys and her family, like it just adds up. Like Dave, like everybody just keeps adding. There's Jen and there's Mitch. Mitch brought his dog Trevor. It's like it's kind of like a little party of our own. But the thing is, when we get together, we want to make a good purpose out of it. So we're donating as well as we're coming out. And I think last year Zhao was out, Hung was out, Craig and Kelly. Just every year's new people. Well, Kevin and Sherry and their two girls. It just adds up. It's great. It's lively. And you know, when we see each other and when we say goodbye, sadly this year we're not able to do that, but it takes us like 5 minutes just to hug everybody to say goodbye. I love it. I love seeing them. So yeah. So that's Run for the Cure.
Run for the Cure. Wonderful.
That was last year's golf tournament.
Golf tournament.
Yeah. And that's Jack sitting in the middle. He was our project manager last year. It was very successful. He's a pretty awesome dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we color coordinated, obviously.
Yes, yes. You guys sure, like I said earlier, I'm not just helping people, but helping people and having fun and connecting locally. So you're actually enriching the local scene as well, not just seeing it as hard work and arduous work and no fun to be had, right?
Yes, that's right. These are three lovely ladies, lovely girls. Jeananne, she's very sweet. Jeananne is a third Dan black belt, and Christina is about to have her first baby in a couple months. And Izzy, she was at that time only 16, so she is my son's classmate, but she's out every time whenever we need anything. She comes out to the Vietnamese festivals and just to volunteer. So yeah, they're a sweet
And
volunteer.
Christina's holding this is a golf tournament, but Christina's holding a pool cue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because on one of the holes we had a little game where the participants in the golf tournament had to try and get the ball in the hole with a pool cue. So we like to add fun like that throughout. Yeah.
You bet. Just curious, if you can, I'm putting you on the spot here. If you can guess how many people in the local community, how many people you might have engaged over the years. Engaged meaning they became a volunteer, they attended the golf tournament, they participated in the Run for the Cure, they maybe even attend the gala, the annual gala. All the people that have been involved in some capacity, what would that guess number be? Do you have a guesstimate?
Our last year's gala was about what, not last year was smaller, but the year before it was about 300 and something. So let's just round it up. I would say 400 so far. But we like it to be more. And when we first started, I remember Liam was reminding us to be organic. We want to be able to grow, but grow organically so it's manageable, right? You don't want to be you want to establish the quality and people who know who we are and to help locally as well. So 400, I think.
Yeah, and our golf tournament's quite small, but it's a whole different group of people typically that come out to the golf tournament too. So, and I'd say that's about 80 people, and then
So as a guesstimate,
every year everything gets bigger and bigger every year, and we're so thankful our network is getting bigger. So.
Yeah, as a guesstimate, would you say probably well over 1,000 people in the local community being involved in some capacity throughout the years?
No, I think between 400 and 500.
All right, so a few hundred. So around
We'd
500.
love it to be 1,000 eventually, but I don't think it's 1,000. We're not that big.
Yeah. So about 500
on our way.
Still very young.
Wonderful. So let's spin through a few more photos. Is there a story behind this one?
Oh, that was Moon's birthday.
Oh, cool. And,
she's not in that. Oh, this.
Yeah. We're having some fun there.
We like to have fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Lifting the
Oh boy.
spirit as well as the
That's
body.
I
yes,
can't
that
seem to see
is my favorite
that.
photo.
Charlotte, can you help me with that? Oh yeah, that was Moon's birthday. Our sweet Moon turned.
Sue, you're way
Our sweet Moon
behind.
turned.
So what I like to do is any comments, feel free. Now this is the golf tournament, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to do a couple quick things. One is to show the other set of photos, which is more of the photos of the. So I'm going to take this off screen here and bring the other photo into view. So go ahead and talk about the photo that you're seeing there, and
Charlotte, if Becky, if I'm kind of in and out, can you help me out? So this is
Yeah.
our mobile chair. So in Vietnam, we help with wheelchairs and mobile chairs for those in need. And our Goodwill Ambassador, Lan, she would do her research, find out who it is that's deserving, and she would propose it. And we go through the checking investigation, and she would order it and she would hand deliver it. So basically, she'll get a delivery man to drop it off, and she will go there herself to make sure that it's the right person who receive it, and she follows up with it. Yeah.
There's a question from a member of the audience here. You might be able to see it on your screen. I'll read it out in case you can't. It says, how do you decide which projects to contribute to, especially overseas? So, you don't have to answer it right now, but as we kind of go through all the different photos, feel free to address that question as well.
Yeah. If it's okay, Becky, did you want to answer that after we're done with the photos, Becky? Because you've been really quiet, honey.
Becky, can you hear us still? Becky, can you hear us? Okay, maybe not. Okay, here we go.
Okay, that is in Nepal, and we travel with our Goodwill Ambassador. Two of them. One is Kasim, Papa Kasim, I call him, and the other one's Liam. And this is actually.
I'm not answering because I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
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 Which ones
Can
of
you
us?
hear me? Let me know.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I can't hear you, Ashley.
Okay, you can't hear any of us? Okay.
So I'm just going to continue with the photos while you do the technical fixing there behind the scenes on Dune. So this is actually at an orphanage for boys only that we went to when we were in Nepal, and we brought food as well as we brought toys for them. So Jenga, little car toys, the Hot Wheels and stuff, and it was actually very cool. It's quite and soccer balls. It's amazing how simple
I can't hear
things
any
that
of
are. It's the simple things that we take for granted that they love and they really cherish. Undo next photo, please.
Yeah.
And this is in Nepal as well. The gentleman on the right, his name is Leela. I call Mr. Leela. He is an amazing man. What a blessing it is to meet him, thanks to Papa Kasim. So this is in an orphanage that we stayed at in Nepal, and these kids are so wonderful. We actually stayed there for about a week and a half, and we lived with them. In the morning, they just go to school. In the evenings, they come back. They have dinner with us. I remember one day when it was really, really hot, I dragged some of them with me, because I don't know my way. We bought ice cream for them. One dinner, Uncle Liam went and bought KFC for them, or pizza and stuff. So Mr. Leela is wonderful. He does do a great job looking after those kids at the orphanage. I get a blank here.
Susan, can you see?
Charlotte, can you help me out?
Sure. This is another photo from Nepal, and that's Susan bending
Charlotte,
over there.
take over.
Yeah. Okay. And Papa Kasim is standing in the back there. He's local Edmontonian, but he does a lot of charity work in Nepal. And one of our bigger projects in Nepal was a water project. And Kasim helped us substantially with finding labor and just helping, and the locals all helped, and we contributed the funds to work on this water project. So.
Mm-hmm. And Kasim is, of course, Kasim Padmanabhi, of the owner of the Padmanabhi vegan restaurant in town here.
Correct, downtown, and there's now one on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Nepal, and that's Liam on the left and Susan on the right. And again, it would be at an orphanage, and just not only do our ambassadors give food and necessities, but their time and their love and their energy too. It's very inspiring. So.
Mm-hmm.
This is something, or you want to go? Something very dear to our hearts. Yeah. Go ahead.
I remember in 2015, January, we went to Vietnam. It was Charla, Sandra, and Kelly. Shelly, Sandra, Charla, and myself. So that's four girls. And that's So so it was the first time we get to meet some, not everybody here, but some of our students that's receiving scholarship. And this is where Duke Hoy bridge us over to meet the VGSP. It's a Vietnamese Goodwill Scholarship Program, and we are one of a few of their many sponsors. So these are we call the GGB kids. So they're in Vietnam, and in the middle is our ambassador, Gigi Lang. She shows up and she represents us because we're not able to be there. And they all have GGB shirts, and some of them have graduated, like the one at the front on the far right, her name is Minh Phu. She graduated, and she's a doctor, and she's like, they're wonderful. The guys are wonderful. They're young. And I remember there's a photo of Charlotte and I took with them, and how much we've seen them grow within the last 6-7 years. So this is what we do. And this is the only thing that we do when we give money, and it's just for scholarship. They do have to verify the amount that they pay for tuition. And then of course their marks and report card. They submit it twice a year, and we issue scholarship twice a year to these university students, or post-secondary. Yeah. Next.
Yeah, these are all scholarship recipients.
Yeah, so they receive it twice a year. The fella on the far left, his name is Guang, and he helps with the VGSP. He's kind of like the president. He overlooks everything. He was once a student who received scholarship from Jukhoi as well too. So he's giving back on his own time as well. And that's Charla. Do you want to tell me your experience, Charla? Where was that?
Oh, that was in Vietnam. That was a few years ago, 2015. We had stopped in a village, and yeah, we just learned their way of life. It was very spontaneous and not planned. And we also, how many packages did we hand out? How many?
I don't remember, but
like
we did. It seems it was like, no, it seems like we didn't. We went to a few villages, and it seems like it was like about 500 in total, because that day it was a lot. We enjoyed that. Here's another orphanage, and as you can see, we buy rice and we buy packages. It's just to help feed them. That's in Vietnam.
And we compile all those, so we get all the goods, and it's all in separate boxes, and we compile them all, and then the residents of that village will come and take a package. So it was all very organized, and it was very interesting experience for sure.
And that's in Zambia. And you notice I'm wearing a shirt that says Mercy Touch. Mercy Touch is a Canadian registered charity as well, that is run here, as well as, I think it started in Vancouver, but we go with Sandra, and Sandra is a big supporter. She has done so much for Mercy Touch, the kids in Zambia. She has lots of programs. It's just, like we follow the footstep of kindness and generosity. She is who I really look up to and I admire. She's amazing, and that being with her was the experience. So we've gone. It was a wonderful experience, and with that, I got to meet my foster child Elijah. He calls me Mum. He's 19 now, and he's just a lovely young man.
Okay. Thank you for sharing those. Now, I know Charlotte needs to be off the call here in just a minute or two. Any comments about that question, further to that question there that's displayed on screen, folks, before we move on?
Becky, if you can't answer, Charlotte, did you want to answer that before you go?
Yeah. So, question: how do you decide which projects to contribute to? There's a few different ways. Susan especially has a lot of knowledge and contacts out in the world, I will say, and she is usually spearheads most of the projects. However, we do have some of our ambassadors that will reach out to us, and they will give us ideas, and then we vote on them, and we don't always agree. We do. I know there's only 3 of us, so it's good though that there's 3, because then we have a sway vote there. But we don't go with every project that's brought to our attention. We analyze them and see what kind of money we have and decide that way. So unless you want to add something there, Sue.
We do ask if somebody else proposed the project, let's say if I propose the project, I have to come up with a lot of investigation. I have to present it, the location, the destination, the social aspect of it, who needs it, why, how much it is, and what to do. And then I present it, or the ambassador presents it to 3 of us. And the 3 of us, we have the saying, it has to be a unanimous yes, in order for it to proceed. If one of us says no, then it's not happening. So with our relationship, work relationship and friendship and trust, we trust that if one of us says no, the other 2, if they're passionate and believe that, yes, it's a deserving project, it is the other 2's responsibility to make sure to convince the other person why this project is worthwhile. So there days that we don't agree, but one of the things that we have is respect for each other, and we agree to disagree. And then, yeah, so these projects are not just, hey, we need this or we need it. It's voted. And of course, they have to follow under our mandate, our charity mandate. Mm-hmm. Becky, you're on.
Well, we ask a lot of questions, for sure. Like every single time I see any of the beneficiary forums, I do my own, if I can, then I do my own research to find out a little bit more and ask, so that I can ask certain questions, and then it's up to the person who present those beneficiary forms to try and get those answers. So if they make sense to me, and if then we vote on that. Like, or if it doesn't quite make sense to us, then we continue to ask questions, and until we're all happy with the answers. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Now, I know Charlotte might need to go right away. And if you do, Charlotte, maybe just say a few words and say goodbye to our viewers. Hopefully, Susan and Rebecca can just continue for a few more minutes to wrap it up. All right, Charlotte?
Yeah, thanks for putting this on for us, Dune. It's very much appreciated. I've enjoyed the hour. It went by very, very quickly. I was surprised how quickly it went by. Duty calls. I have to get back to work. So I just want to thank everybody that could come out today and have a listen, learn a little bit about our charity. If you have any questions, we're very, very open to answering any questions you have. Any financial sort of questions I can answer. I would like to say one last thing, that when we do fundraising events, or if we collect donations, all of the money we collect goes to our charity projects. We have virtually no overhead, so we don't take any money for ourselves. There's no salaries or anything like that. All of our time and energy is all volunteered. We pay out of pocket ourselves, the three of us, for the majority of our expenses. So like the accounting software I would pay for, and the web hosting Susan pays for. So the money that is donated to the charity does go to the projects, and we're very transparent. If there's ever any questions about where the money goes, we have full records on everything. And because we're a registered charity, the information, our financial information, can all be found on the charities directorate website of the Canada Revenue Agency. So with that, I will say goodbye and thank you, and I'll catch up with you all later.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Right.
Thank you so much, and
Bye, Shar.
great
Love
afternoon.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is
Bye,
for
Shar.
everybody.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Can I add to what she said too? Not only it comes from us as well, it comes from our volunteers. Like Moon, for example, if she picks something up, she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Jack, for instance, right, when he did the golf tournament, if he picks something up, Talisha for balloons, Sherry, little simple things, Diane, you know, even Joe, like when they buy something for the charity, they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Liam, for instance, right? Whatever we can afford, and we pay for it out of our own pocket.
Yeah, this might be a great time to show a video clip. Is it correct that you both can hang on a little bit longer? You don't have a meeting or a business thing to attend right away here? We're good?
No, I can stay for a little bit. Hopefully
Okay.
Becky can too.
So hopefully,
I can
Rebecca,
stay for a little bit too.
wonderful. Let me roll this video clip here. This is the Indonesia clip. So if one of you could introduce that clip while we take both of you off camera and just feature that particular video here. But go ahead and start talking about it.
Sure. It was a trip that we took last year in 2019 in November, and we went with Papa Kasim. So Papa Kasim, Liam, and myself, we went. And Papa Kasim is from Indonesia, and he is so wonderful. He has friends back there that are so generous. They sort all this out, and it was purchasing supplies, necessities like rice and instant noodles and packages for families in need. And we stop at different districts and is to give out. So we put these items in pagoda, like temple, and they would come and we would give them away, give them to each family. Now, who gets that? There's a research. So the local ambassadors who helped Kasim's brother, for one of them, they went through who needs it, and then each family who is qualified gets a little ticket. They come by, they give us a ticket, and we get the package. Now, there's also after that, we went to a few homes that we would home deliver because they have no means of transportation. Most of them are widows with families and children to take care of. So we would personally go to their house and drop things off. So this clip is from our Indonesian GGB charity project that is head speared by Papa Kasim. His friends, his family, Indonesia are very giving. So you can go ahead with that. Thank you.
All right, let's start the clip here. Thank you for that introduction. We'll start the clip here.
Bukan dengan kekuatanku ku dapat jalani hidupku tanpa Tuhan yang di sampingku. Ku tak mampu sendiri. Engkaulah kuatku yang menopangku. Ku pandang wajahmu.
So tell us more about Indonesia. I don't know if you know this, but I actually live in Indonesia for a few months, in the refugee camp
Oh,
back
okay.
in the early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's quite diverse. It's such a wonderful country. It's beautiful. A lot of us Westerners know Indonesia through Bali. You know, we go to the beach and vacation and such. But Indonesia is pretty amazing. They have majority of Indonesians are Muslims. They all get along, and it's very cool. I've learned that in the morning at 4:30 in the morning, they have temples and megaphones that do mosque prayers and stuff. So that is very interesting. Some women, you know, cover their head, and they're very hospitable, like they're very kind and friendly, you know. So I really enjoyed that. But I think with that experience, traveling with Kasim is wonderful. I've traveled with him. We went to Nepal. I've traveled with him in Indonesia. He is turning 60 this year at the end of August, and
Yes.
he's amazing. I don't know how to explain it. If you have never met Kasim, go to his restaurant when it opens at Manatee. His family, his two daughters, his son-in-law, his wife, like just the people that were with him. When you're around Kasim, it's that positive energy. It's like when you go to get gas and it fills it up. I mean, Dune, you know that, you know Kasim.
Oh,
After
yeah.
you see him, you come out and you're like, oh my God, that is so refreshing. He's so full of energy. That is how I feel with Kasim. Actually, the two people in my life that, you know, Kasim and Sandra, they're so positive. And I say that because now when I'm with my two ladies, my two girls, Charlotte and Becky, as well as all the volunteers, like Talisha is one of them as well too, the girls, and we have this energy, the positive energy that afterwards you come out, you're like, that was so refreshing. So for us to do that on a charity basis, volunteer time, you laugh, you're doing something good, it feels really good. So yeah, Kasim, I have to say, anybody who's never met Kasim, go to the restaurant and you meet this man, and he's so wonderful. He's great.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, Rebecca, your reflection on your involvement with the organization for the past, from the very beginning, your thoughts that you might have top of mind?
Oh my goodness. I say it's 99% all positive, happy feelings, and I think it's one of the reasons why I'm still a part of it. You know, from my perspective as a communications person, like the website itself is a huge undertaking because there's so many projects going on. There's so many pictures that we take from each one of the projects, and we want to post a lot of those to provide that transparency to let people know that these are where you know the money goes to and who the people are and how they're helping. It's a huge undertaking. It's a lot of work. In some ways, it's like my second job. You know, I'm a workaholic in my day job. But the reason I have the energy to work at night to put up as much as possible or to do as much as I do, because I also do all the graphics, posters, and other communications for us, is the energy, the positive energy that I get from being surrounded by Susan and Charla and all the volunteers and our whole vision. Like all of us are just so in sync with, you know, our vision and our goals for the charity, and we just work so well together. We have so much fun when we are together. I feel great just with all the lovely, you know, people that is surrounded. Like life is like, you know, like unfortunately we're getting older. And one of the things that I'm finding myself really thinking about a lot lately is just that life is just so short. You know, my girls are growing up; they're like teenagers now, and they're life is just so short. And I just want to be surrounded with, you know, only positive things, only things that give me joy in life, like Marie Kondo. You know, if they give you joy, then they will stay. And this charity and the group of people that I'm with will stay with me for a very long time, forever, you know, if we can. But I'm just so blessed with the people and the work that we do. Like it's just, I feel like I'm that my family is more than just my husband, my children, my parents, but also my wonderful friends, my through and all even the deep connection I feel to the people that we helped as well in the world. It's just a lovely feeling.
There's a question. Oh, look at that, Charlotte! A beautiful surprise. Charlotte is coming back after her conference call. Is that right? Or
Yay.
is that
She loves us. She can't leave us. She loves us. We love her. We can't live without her. That's for sure.
Yeah.
you know, her videos. Yeah, I see that. I'm gonna bring your hand screen right onto the camera here.
There we go. Oh, I
Well,
changed it.
that's a pleasant surprise. Charlotte is back. This is
Did
great.
you?
Oh,
Ooh, hey, beautiful.
we keep going till 5 o'clock. How's that? Just kidding.
He
Yeah.
misses too much.
Oh, there we go.
There's another question. Thank you so much for joining us back again. I know after your urgent meeting and important meeting that you could not skip out of,
Yes.
it would have been fine if you kind of say, well, I had my hour, I'm going to just relax. But joining us again, that's just a proof of how fun we are, folks, right? I mean, if we were not fun, she wouldn't have joined us back again.
Really, I just have to make sure these two stay in line. That's all. That's why I came back.
Right.
I wasn't sure. So.
Question for you. I want to show another question from audience member here. Hopefully you can see it. Can you see at the bottom? It says the video showed a uniformed man. Do you get help with or involvement from local federal governments when you're doing work overseas? Just a question based on one of the photos.
Can I answer that, girls? Is that okay?
Yes, please.
So,
Absolutely.
based on that photo of the uniform man, I asked about that too, and I'm like, what's going on? He was there to keep us safe because we had lots of food there, and he just wanted to make sure that everything's in order. So he showed up, and yeah, he just wanted to make sure that we were safe. Now, to answer your question about involving government, we do not involve any government whatsoever. We don't get federal government sponsorship or anything like that. In fact, certain countries, I can't name the countries, but certain countries, we try not to be so big to go. So everything is very under the radar. And that's the reason why we don't do infrastructure, because when you do infrastructure, you go to a country, just like here in Edmonton or Canada, US, and countries, you got to go through the government. You got to go through, approval, inspection, and all that. We don't do that because certain countries, it's not regulated fairly. There might be illegal things that put us into a situation. I gotta watch what I say. So in order for us, GGB, to be transparent and responsible with your money, we try to avoid any government involvement. The only government involvement that we welcome is to keep our beneficiaries safe. There was incidents where we try not to say that we're from Canada because we have to keep it low because we're afraid that our lives will be in danger or the beneficiaries will be robbed and stuff. So the answer is no government involvement whatsoever. So 100% of the money donated towards charity projects, that we will make sure we ensure that goes to the beneficiaries 100%, no government involvement. I hope that answers your question.
Great. That's a very comprehensive answer to that question, and give us some other considerations as well. So let me take it in a different direction. And that is, I have some other questions for you, but before we wrap up, anything that you want to share with our viewers that we haven't sort of came to yet, we haven't shared yet, that you would like to share? I just want to open that there for all three of you. Anything at all that comes to mind? A story, a concept, anything at all? No?
We do the round table. Maybe if we can give a round table, say Becky, Charlotte, and then I'll just end that thought. Is that okay?
You bet. Yeah. So I suppose, think of it this way. If there was some sort of thoughts that you want to really have the viewers sort of hear from you on this whole thing that we've been talking about in the last hour, what might that be? And just go ahead and share it in the way that makes sense to you.
Do you want me to go first? I have something I want. So so this is, I guess this is how we feel about, you know, the charity it's not just about us and all the volunteers who come to help us, but we've involved our children as well. You know, what we feel about, you know, just give to people without any expectations. That's something that we also carry forward to our children. So we involve our children in our fundraising activities. My girls are especially, you know, looking forward to the galas. They love doing all the tasks necessary, especially the selling at the galas and all those other things. But it's you know, involving our children to adopt the principles that we believe in, and hopefully so that one day they can then participate in this charity and carry it forward, continue on the legacy as much as possible.
In other words, instill in them the joy of giving, and the joy of
Yes,
community
the
engagement,
joy.
and yeah.
Yeah, the joy of giving, just being engaged in the community, also recognizing that, you know, that you are very lucky. There's something I tell my children all the time. You are so very lucky. I came to Canada when I was 8 years old, and because I was so young, I think I was a bit sheltered as a child by
Mhm,
my family into, you know, the aftermath of the Vietnam War.
mhm,
But you know, I still have remnants of memories of, you know, how poor we were, you know, the conditions that we were living in. They
yeah.
are so nothing like what we have right now. So you just need to be blessed, feel blessed about everything that we have here.
Mhm,
Whatever life throws at you, it, you know, and just feel blessed about what you do have because you have a lot.
mhm. Well, thank you, Rebecca, for sharing that. So, Charla, would you like to continue on that thought?
Sure. Yeah, that was a excellent point to bring up, how we involve our children. And um, when we do work local projects locally, it's not only for an opportunity for us to give back. It's an opportunity for us to um, show our children and exactly what Rebecca said, how lucky we are in living in this in living in Canada, basically. And I mean, obviously I was born and raised here, and I've thank you to these lovely ladies. I've had the experience to see the world, and it really does put things into perspective, and I can bring that knowledge back and educate people here on what I've seen out in the world. And when we support locally, there's a lot of social programs in Canada. I don't know if you've mentioned this while I was offline, but a lot of social programs in Canada already,
Mhm,
whereas in third world countries, they don't exist, and so they rely on people like us and the funds that can come from the wealthier countries. And so when we support locally, it's usually our time, and as opposed to our money. So we can give back in any way. You can be generous in many different ways, and it's not just money, it's time as well. So,
mhm.
and teaching that to your children, and the value of a dollar and how far it can go. I don't know, did you tell them my saying? Because sometimes we've had fundraising opportunities where we haven't actually made a lot of money, but my saying always is, that's a lot of rice. And it really is. The money goes a long, long way
Mhm,
in other countries. So
mhm. Yeah, and if I could just point out to our viewers again, Charla, of course, has a background in accounting, having worked for the CRA and having a CPA designation, and very serious about money and tracking and reporting of money and managing of money. But it sounds like this organization, the GGB, has really sort of round out your involvement in that is not just about the money, it's about all of the other soft things as well, which seems to resonate when you spoke there, Charla.
Yeah, and I agree. I've learned a lot. My strength is the financial side, obviously, but um, I've learned how to network, and I've learned some computer skills from Becky, and I've learned so much from this group of people. Not just skills like that, but how to treat other people, and just the love you get back
Mm-hmm.
when you give a little bit
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way. Mm-hmm.
When you sow seeds, somebody's going to be reaping the benefits, whether it's someone else reaping it or sometimes it comes right back at you, right? If you sow enough seeds, there'll be enough people benefiting. So thank you, Charla. Susan, your thoughts?
I think with life in general, we make the best out of it. Our lives are not perfect. And I remember Charlotte and I have been friends for 24 years, and all three of us are the same age, me being the youngest. But I remember,
On paper only,
yeah,
not maturity level.
So I remember Charla used to, when I'm down, she'll hug me and she'll remind me, she's like, there's other people in worse situations, Sue. So with this charity, with GGB, and it's not just charity alone, is when we give back, give anything, our heart and stuff, as much as people say, like I'm speaking on for me, people say that, oh, you've helped so many people. I don't feel that way. I feel them helping me mentally, physically, emotionally. When they, remember Charlotte and I were in Vietnam and with Shelly and Sandra at a leprosy village, and we give the package, and you see this man who has suffered leprosy with no fingers, taking his knuckles and just give you that nod of thank you. I say thank you back because just to watch that, it just fills my heart. Being around these wonderful women who are smart, intelligent, the volunteers is Great Heart, is to help me. So it benefits me. So maybe it's my selfish ways, I can say. I'm being helped just to be part of this. I was in Nepal. Mr. Leela, who runs the orphanage, he's a wonderful person. He does a lot of the travel accommodations. If you ever want to go to traveling to Nepal, talk to me because I can hook you up. And we were talking because he grew up very poor, and education he finds is really important. So as he raised these kids in his orphanage, when they get older, he gets them to work, and he would place them in work placement, either hotels or, doing the tour guide and stuff. So they can, just, okay, you're done, 18, get out of orphanage. No, he sets them up. And I said to him, life in a glass, you can have half full or half empty. And he looked at me and he said, the fact that you have a glass already, you're ahead of it. And I can always remember that. And yeah, life, like with this whole COVID, nobody wants it. It affects the whole entire world. And there are days that, we're like, oh, I wish it's back to normality and such. I miss hugging my friends. I really do. I miss hugging the people that I love. I miss having get togethers. But on the positive note, we line up for groceries to get in. We still have the capability of buying with our money, our credit card, food. Growing up, escaping Vietnam by boat, being a boat girl, watching my parents, and I'm sure a lot of like Andu, maybe you can, understand what I mean. Watching our parents lining up just to get ration food or be turned away because there's not enough food. That we are already in a positive in that sense, right? Being grounded at home. We're at home, we're warm, we're comfortable. We have our social entertainment, TV, internet, where other countries, you're grounded and you can't go anywhere, or you're afraid to come home. You're afraid to be, in a political situation, or to be sent to a concentration camp, we say the wrong things. Yes, you can't just go anywhere and everywhere, but you can go through a drive-through and get yourself a coffee, or just go for a drive, and you have that freedom. So my whole point is, life is what you make out of it. And if anybody who wants to feel the love or to give back through this charity, GGB, or through any charity or nonprofit organization, you can go. When you head out and you see, it's simple things that we teach our children. Open the door for a senior. Help somebody that's heavy. If you travel, if there's a suitcase that a senior can't pick up, do. And our last charity project that we did for seniors, Tia Morena, in El Salvador, which is Charlie's mom, she hand sewed blankets, like little light blankets, because as a senior who either outlived their children and grandchildren and it doesn't have any visitors, coming to get massages or hugs and with the blanket of their own, that's really important, means something. So I just ask everybody, anybody at any age, life is really what you make out of it, and happiness or unhappiness or whatever, it's a state. We can change that, but be positive, because your attitude really makes a difference. And be thankful, be happy, be content. And we are very grateful with all our sponsors, all our volunteers, and the opportunity. I, for sure, am thankful for my health, my capability to do what I can, going to work, be employed, volunteer, having my friends, having my family, to be able to travel, and the people that I love to travel with, to be able to give something, anything. But giving has to be from the heart. So yeah, life is what you make out of it.
Wonderful. So thank you for sharing those, folks. And as we around the corner here on wrapping this up, I like to ask you one more thing, and then we're going to wrap up right after that. Again, so much really appreciate your time today and your sharing. So again, generously giving back, GGB, folks, the website that we've shown there. Feel free to go there and check it out offline, folks, and send them any questions that you have as well. So if I would ask each one of you to kind of summarize the whole conversation here into 3 words. Now you can share and you actually use the same words, but 3 words, each one of you. It'd be great if each one of you come up with 3 completely different words, but whatever is top of mind that you think kind of represent what you've been sharing for the whole hour and a bit here. So I don't know who, we're going to change it up a little bit. Maybe we'll start with Charla, and then we'll go with, yeah, or we can go with, Rebecca.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so Charla,
I'm
if you
anxious
can.
to see if Susan can keep it to 3 words, actually.
3 words, Susan, 3 words.
You know what? I'm going to give her one of my words, and I'm going to only say 2 words, and she can have one of my words. So I'm going to say no boundaries.
Oh, you took my 2 words.
Benefit of going first.
All right, no boundaries. Okay.
No boundaries.
Thank you, Shala. Okay, Rebecca, your 3 words, or 4 if you want to make up for the 2.
Oh my goodness. How about you go, Susan?
Susan.
I feel like there's something.
And they can be separate words. They don't have to be combined like the way Charla did. What are 3 words that sort of recaps what we've been talking about?
I only have 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Back her word. Open heart, open mind.
That's why she's not the accountant. I counted 4 words there. Charla, do you agree?
Open heart has a dash.
I'm so glad you said it and not me.
I dashed it, so it's really one word. The system. I'm going through the system.
She's bucking the system. Good thing. I'm just glad that Charla is the accountant in this picture and not Susan.
You just experience what we experience. So through us girls, we laugh a lot and we give each other a hard time with a lot of love.
Yeah. So Rebecca, your turn.
For sure, passion. Giving. Kindness.
Passion. See, she plays by the rule. 3 words, none of this 4 trying to be 2.
I'm always the one who steps out of boundaries. Ask them. They keep me in line.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us. I know you all quite busy, even during COVID here. In fact, all of you are working on your full-time job and doing all kinds of stuff in addition to that. And I know you're quite active as well, all the different sports activity with your children and so on. And so I really appreciate you taking the time here to really join us and have this conversation. I'd like to thank our guests, for our listener, our viewers, for tuning in. Now and then later on to watch the replay. And so again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the thread there, and these 3 fine ladies will answer your questions along the way. So with that, let's say bye to everybody, and go ahead. How do you wave bye in sort of?
I said bye already once. I'm saying bye again.
Hi, everybody.
Like
Thank you
hello,
so
hello.
much, June.
Usually
Thank you
there's kissing
so
and
much.
hugging and
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
everybody.
Thank you, and June. Thank you very much.
Sharla,
Thank you.
Susan, Rebecca, it's been wonderful talking to you. And to our viewers out there, take good care of yourself during these difficult times. Take good care of one another. And until we meet again, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.